Welcome to the Effortlessly Abundant Life podcast, where we will dive into the mindset, spirituality, and practical tools to have more of what you want with less effort. I'm your host, Natalia, a mindset shifter, certified life and success coach, and hypnotherapist who is obsessed with making your life feel good from the inside out. So let's dive in today's episode in 3, 2, 1. So hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Effortlessly Abundant Life. And guys, I have such a treat for you because I have the Marley Rose. I can't even describe her because she's like her own identity. So I honestly was so excited to see an email from you because I've been such a fan of yours, and I've been listening to your podcast back to back to back, and just witnessing your journey and learning about your story and what do you do. And it's just so inspiring. And I'm so grateful to have you here in this podcast. So with no further ado, I want to introduce you Marley Rose. She's a business mindset coach. She's going to help you and helping lots of people to actually make profit from whatever that is you're passionate about without losing your values, without losing your freedom, without losing your head. And this is what it's all about. So with no further ado, here she is, Mark.
Oh my God, thank you. That is like the sweetest intro I've ever had. You're so sweet.
This is the way we do it. So for those who don't know you, want to quickly introduce yourself, where you are, what you're about?
Yes. Yes. And thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. So, yes, I'm a business and mindset coach, and I always have trouble saying my story quickly, but I'm going to do my very best because I love talking. But basically, I come from, a very small town in like the middle of Canada where it gets freaking cold. And basically, where like this drive came from, which was to live this life of time, location, financial freedom, was from a very selfish place at first. I just hated winter. I was like, I can't do it. My face hurts when I leave. I don't like who I am. When I'm in sunshine, I'm a different bitch. Like, I am happier. My skin is glowing. My digestion improves. And I was just, coming from basically university, I was like, okay, either I could get a salary job, stay in London, Ontario, which is where I was going to school at the time, or I could try this thing that I'm like seeing on Instagram where people are like digital nomads. I'm like, I don't even know what this is, but I just knew I really wanted. I really desired this life of time, location, financial freedom. And the funny thing is that growing up, I never wanted to be my own boss. My parents were both entrepreneurs, and this life of like inconsistency and lack and, struggle is what I associate entrepreneurship with. And I was like, no, I do not want any part of that. I cannot wait to have a salary, benefits. I was just like so excited about that. And it wasn't until I got my very first internship, which I basically had like beg and pull teeth. It was like this whole ordeal because I never worked in like this corporate setting. Because when I'd go home for the summers, it was literally just you either work in a restaurant or you work in a restaurant. Like, I'm from a very small town. There's no Deloitte or
There's
like
no
anything
options.
to get experience in. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna start my own business on the side just to make some extra money to like go out on weekends. And I was helping small businesses back home design logos and websites. And what it ended up happening is I ended up loving that. And I loved working for myself. And I remember when I got paid for my first website, I got $500 cash, which might have well been like $2 million. I was like, I'm so rich. Like, $500 cash. It was like the most exciting thing, which was earning money doing something that I love. And I was like, this feels like I'm robbing the system. And because it was against everything that I've been told. It's like money has to be hard and money has to, have to struggle to make money. And then it was just like I did something I loved the whole time and I got paid for it. And I was like, this is new. And then when I went to this internship, I hated it. I was like, wait, this is I've been watching The Internship and I thought everyone played ping pong at lunch and there's like parties and like this is what I thought corporate life was going to be, but it was very much not like that. This is just my experience, by the way, obviously, but like I'm not projecting on corporate. This is just was my experience. And so I had this crazy realization when I graduated from university that I finally had the job offer that I wanted, the salary, the benefits. And then I was like, I don't want that. And what I did want was to create my own business, which I always didn't want.
Mm.
And so it's this crazy realization. I think it's gonna happen to a lot of people when they finally get something that they want and they realize, wait, I don't want that. It's a really crazy mindset trip. And so I took this leap of faith, which was to go, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a chance. I'm gonna go full in on my business. And because I know there's a chance that could get me to my dream. I know there's a 0% chance that taking this corporate job could get me to my dream. So I'm willing to bet on like whatever the chances of this working out, maybe like 10%. Who knows, right? But I'm like, I'm bet on myself because the other option is getting me there 0%. And so, obviously, you guys, I'm just telling you the highlights. There was like I talked to my professors, I talked to my mom, like my dog, like I consulted everyone, but my intuition knew. It just knew. And I was so lit up by doing my own thing. That's a little taste that I got of it. I was like, this has potential. And so basically that was in 2009. 2018 was when I started my business. And then for a year, I worked two other jobs and grinded and built my business. So then a year later is when I quit like the part-time jobs and I went full in on my business. And some people might hear a year and say, that's a really long time. Some people might hear a year and say, that's not a lot of time. But I would say I was learning everything on my own. Like now it's like, of course you hire a coach. Of course you just take a course. But back then it wasn't back then, like it was 10 years ago. But back then, honestly, I didn't think I had to figure out everything on my own. And now I would never do that because obviously it's way easier just to learn from someone. Like if you're
But I
building
think you
a home,
need to go through it once by yourself to figure that you need the help, right? Because a lot of time we need to go through, there's no shortcuts, right? So a lot of times we need to figure out by ourselves that we not know all of that. And sometimes it does work, you know? And it's really trial and error type of thing.
totally, totally. And so through that experience, I basically built my first business, which was in graphic design and websites. And long story short, I had the time, location, financial freedom, built a team of 5, moved to Australia, was earning more a month than that corporate salary was for a year.
Same.
And I was traveling the world, and everyone was like, Marley, how the hell are you doing this? And I was like, well, I'm just doing this, aren't you guys? And everyone was like, no. And so started to get so many questions about how, earning money, building a business. And I was like, well, that's actually what I want to talk to you about because I was starting to get really burnt out from the website. It wasn't my passion. I was just good. I was quote unquote good at it. Right. So then, and what I've been always passionate about is mindset, healing, manifestation, law of attraction, money. And what had happened, it's a quick segue, is that at the beginning of 2019, I lost my father. And my dad, I came back from Australia and my dad committed suicide.
Mhm.
And it was something that if you had told me that it was gonna happen, I'd be like, that's impossible. There's just no way. Like it's unfathomable that that would have
It
happened.
is.
And when that happened, it 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 forced me to do the deeper work. The deeper work that I had always been hiding from. And I started like meditating and doing gratitude, but I never like looked into trauma or healed trauma. And this was an invitation for me because I was like, this is either gonna make me or this is gonna break me. And thank God I had already found what I was passionate about, or else that would have, I don't know, but I think would have broken me because I had a North Star of like, oh,
Yes.
but I can actually see a future and I have a purpose here, whereas before I didn't.
Mhm.
And I would hate, that's why I'm so passionate about teaching people their passion because it can literally save your life and it saved mine. And so I did the deeper work. I went to therapy like I'd never been to therapy before, never talked about my feelings. And I did kind of like an Eastern Western healing approach. So I did talk therapy, but then I did Reiki and then I just went down this rabbit hole of healing and transformation, learning about the subconscious mind. And then it became a straight up obsession and a healthy obsession, but like I just became fascinated with it. I took every reading all the books, podcasts, and I will never stop grieving from what happened, but through healing, my entire reality and life has changed. And so now where I'm at is, I did pivot my business. So now I help people create lives of time, location, financial freedom through turning their business into an online profitable business, because having this life of time, location, financial freedom was a dream for me. And to be able to help other people have this type of freedom is like pinch me. But in addition, it's combining subconscious healing with the strategy. And I don't see anyone else doing this, but like that's like be given a Corvette or like a Lamborghini, like a really nice car, and given no instruction manual on how to run the damn thing. So
Absolutely.
you're given, like, there's so many courses how to build a business, but if you're not healing your subconscious beliefs and your identity to align with the success that you desire, that's literally like putting your foot on the gas and the car not going anywhere. In order to attract the success and the business and the clients that you desire and this life of freedom, in order to do that, you must heal your subconscious mind to be in alignment with the thing that you desire, or else you will keep going back down. And this happens all the time. You'll get a client and then they'll pull away randomly. It's just like this upper limit. So what I help my clients do is not only do we give you the structure to build this beautiful, expansive 6-7 figure business, but we also help you heal your mindset to connect to that, or else you could be learning literally marketing from Gary Vee and it's not going to matter if your subconscious mind doesn't believe that you deserve it.
Exactly. And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck, especially these days where we are shifting to a new dimension. We are. And the old paradigms of very masculine driven, very type
Yes.
A, very structured strategy, as you mentioned, are just not working anymore. It's just not
Yes.
enough to create that success that is fulfilling, that is long lasting, that is actually not just for you, but it's actually creating a change for humanity. Because just be rich and be miserable and not giving any value to people, it's just not enough. It's just not enough anymore. So I think this is where I feel a lot of people need that. But the problem is, I feel a lot of people fear to go deep, right? Do you feel that a lot of
Absolutely.
people kind
Are
of
you kidding me? I was the exact same way. And I'm still actually kind of working on it, because it's like, I think we're like, oh, I just don't want to open that can of worms. And can I
exactly?
tell you where I think this comes from?
Sure.
So I grew up in a family where I felt like my needs were a burden.
Mm,
And I grew up in a situation where there was no room for me to be, I felt that there's no room for me to express my emotions and have it met in like a supportive, like safe way.
yeah.
So I just learned to not share my emotions. And I learned, oh, it's fine. Everything's. And so what happens when you get older is that you just bottle it all in. And it's like, it's as if you were like, oh, like if I was like, Mom, I'm sick, and it's like, oh no, just it's fine, everything's fine. So then when you feel these emotions, as we all do because we're humans, and in the adult life, we learn not to express our needs and share our needs and express our emotions, because quote unquote it may be a burden to someone else, or if we share that, we're afraid we're going to lose someone else, or we're afraid of, if we look at it, it might take over, and then how will we get out of it, right? Whereas I just want to, if anyone listening is resonating with that, I just want to tell you that, like, name it to tame it. And typically when we fear something and avoid it, our brain perceives that as danger, and so it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Whereas if you just looked at it, you'd realize it was like this small little bunny just trying to get your attention. But we fear it so much. But then when you actually look at it, you're like, oh, it's just
It's
that.
like it feels like life and death for the subconscious, right?
It literally is, though.
And
That's
it could be the smallest, stupidest thing,
yes,
but for our
yes,
subconscious, it literally life and death. And if it
yes.
feels like death for you to confront your truth or expressing your truth because it feels unsafe for you,
Mhm.
or just tapping into that emotion, this is something that is very limiting, right? And fearing our emotions, a feeling is almost like feeling numb. And I feel a lot of people feeling numb right now, right? They're numbing through alcohol, numbing themselves through everything, just to kind of like distract themselves from actually being and feeling, which is, I think it's so important for business because you are a leader of your business, right? And dealing with emotions, dealing people's emotions and helping them navigate that to create a successful business. I think it's so crucial.
I love this topic so much. So think about it this way. This is what I used to do. I would be like, oh, I'll just deal with that later, because if I think about that now, then it will lower my vibration and then I won't attract the income that I desire.
Yeah.
And so I had this like closet in my home, in my brain, that
Right.
was like a junk drawer, but it was fucking a walk-in closet filled to the brim with like shit. I'll just deal with that later. Right. So the subconscious mind can't decipher of like, is that a closet or is that the entire home? And so when I started to clear out the closet, like, wow, my business financially changed, like quantum leaped. And the crazy thing is that like money doesn't money will manifest to you based on your belief system, not your emotions. So I had an experience, and I think this happened to me to be like, okay, finally, the universe is like, Marley, will you finally get it? I'm like, okay, I got it. So I realized that, oh, I can actually be sad and cry and earn money in excess. Okay. Because for so long I've been taught, and I'm not blaming anyone, but like what I believe through my learnings is you have to be happy and positive all the time to make money. That's so not true. And that's actually so dangerous to think, because then you're just avoiding feeling all of these things. And when you feel those things and move through those things, that's actually what allows you to earn more money. So that's very interesting. And so when it was like a month ago actually. I moved to Cape Town for the month of March and April, and I literally completely changed like 10 times over. So I've lived like 10 lives the past 2 months. And when I first got to Cape Town, all this stuff came up. It was crazy. It was like
Wow.
trigger, 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 trigger. And I was like, Jesus, take the wheel. And I was in bed one morning, I was bawling my eyes, I was crying. I checked my phone, and I had 3 people at once pay in full for Freedom Club.
Wow.
Huh? I was like,
Yeah.
but I'm crying and I'm sad. And then it was like, it just all clicked. I was like, money does not care about sadness. Money, you are a vibrational match for money based on your identity, based on your I am, based on your beliefs, what is subconscious. And so,
Knowing you're worthy just because you are.
exactly. And so
Exactly. Like,
yeah. So like let's highlight that and underscore that and stop having if I have a billboard one day, it's gonna be like, stop thinking that you can't be sad because you want to earn more money, because it's like, cry, please, release, and then that makes room for the abundance.
I think that's it. That I think the resistance, that's what's stopping us from being this vessel for the abundance that is already there, right? It's not like we need to be, or it's there and we're separate from that, right? It's all
Not
about
outside
just
us.
opening up to it and allowing it move through us. As simple as that. By the way, it's 555, which is super cool. So I wanted to ask you, speaking of passion, is it possible to make a profitable business from doing something we truly, truly love? Because I feel this is this running narrative that we hear a lot from our parents, from people around us, telling us, oh, you like to sing, oh, you like to draw, or you like to do some kind of a hobby. This is nice on the side, but make sure you have a real job and do whatever you like to do as a hobby, because you can't really make money out of it. What do you think about that?
I love this question so much. Okay, so I have so much I want to say. I'm like,
Or
the best way to earn money in abundance, excess, and overflow is by following your passion. And let me tell you why. I have a core belief that we are all here for a reason. It is not a coincidence that we are here. There is 1 in a trillion chances that you are here. Okay. Whatever you believe in, like whatever, like that's like God, universe, angels, like you are here for a reason. I can promise you that. And I believe that we all have given gifts to share on this planet to make this world a better place. I think that's why we're all here. And knowing that, you not following your passion is doing a disservice to the world around you. It's doing a disservice to your mission. It's doing a disservice to your purpose. And in my experience, and what I know to be true, is money follows joy. Money loves joy. And so I can just give you an experience in my life. So far I've had 2 businesses. The first one I wasn't passionate about, and the second one I am completely passionate about. And money doesn't buy happiness. I thought that when I started earning like $70,000 a month, all my anxiety would go away, all my fears would go away. Like nothing changes.
That's
Like
what people get so disappointed when they are sacrificing their time and their life for this job because of this grand promise that their life will be magically beautiful and no worries, and they just feel the same, and then they start to resent the money, the job, everything, the represent.
everything and everyone.
Exactly.
So by you not following your passion, you are not only doing a disservice to the world, but you're actually capping the amount of money that you can make. Because when you follow your passion, not only are you going to earn more, but I actually care more about the fact that you are going to feel more fulfilled. You are going to feel more happy. You are going to feel more in alignment. And the more in alignment you are, the more you earn, because money is just energy. Money is a frequency, just like when you turn on the radio. Like right now, you're in the car and you're listening to the radio on, let's say, like country FM, and if you're not following your passion, it's like, let's turn it to like, so, and that has a certain frequency to do with money. But when you turn up your frequency and you connect to your alignment, money is a byproduct of value. Money is a byproduct of you being in your joy. And so I can guarantee you, like, and this mindset of, oh, well, if you become a singer, like this hobby, like there's millionaires and billionaires in every single category. They're like,
It
what
just depends what kind of evidence you're looking at. What are you choosing to see of evidence for whatever you
and
believe?
you create your own reality, right? You create your own destiny. Money isn't outside of you, money is inside of you.
Mhm.
So I believe that no matter what you do, if you heal your money mindset to and like turn up your frequency to the money that you desire, you can become a million. That's why Jeff Bezos, no matter what he touches, he'll turn it into $1 million business, because his money frequency is so high. And so I believe that, like, maybe I'll even do an experiment one day, like just like going into and starting a completely business where people like, no one ever makes money in that. And I want to go into that and be like,
Just to
I will
prove
prove
that
to
point.
you that your money mindset is the only thing that matters, and your belief system of I can do it no matter what is the only thing that matters, and you will be quote unquote successful in any area, and you'll be happy and you'll be fulfilled, which is, again, I would rather you just living a life of fulfillment and purpose, because you will wake up every day not even wanting to go to bed because you're so happy and fulfilled.
That's the win. And you know what's
That's the
funny?
win.
It's interesting. When we go, I don't know about you, but everywhere I go, I notice when there's like an empty coffee shop or a store, literally 2 minutes after, I see like people coming in. And I know that this is the frequency of abundance that we bring into whatever where we are. Do you feel the same way?
Oh, it's just that, like,
I don't know how to explain it.
are you saying like when you go into the coffee shop, more people come in?
Absolutely. And I know it's because I not in a like a selfish way. Oh, I'm
No, I
selfish.
love
It's just
that.
like
I
you,
love that.
but it's true. And I started noticing that it's when you are abundance, you just bring abundance wherever you are. And it's just a
Oh,
cool experiment to do.
and I just believe in like karma, right? Like when you put out good shit into the world, you get
Oh,
good stuff back, right? And like I
absolutely.
had this experience the other day happen to me. So I go to this masseuse in Cape Town at this spa. And she's the most beautiful soul ever. And when I first met her, she's like, I had never spoke to her before. And she's like, oh, it's the famous Marley Rose. And I was like, I'm famous?
Uh-oh.
Who told you? No, I'm just kidding. And she was like, no, I just saw your name and I just know you're gonna be famous or now are famous. I was like, oh my God, thank you. And we just had
Oh,
a beautiful interaction. And I just like just loved her energy. It was such a nice vibe. And you know, she had no idea what I did or what I do, but we were just like talking and then I left. And then I saw her again the day before I left Cape Town, and we were just chatting, and I had no idea, but she was like, Marla, you've changed my life. And I was like, what do you mean I've changed your life? And she's like, since the moment I've met you, she's like, I don't know what you did to me, but your energy, she's like, I have never felt more positive. I have now started out earning everyone in the business. I have never made more commissions in my entire life. And
wow.
okay, number one, this is the sweetest thing I've ever been told. So it was like so beautiful. But I just want to reminded her, and I want to remind you, it wasn't me. Like it's always you. Like I just ignited in her essence, her essence.
Yes.
She is,
Yes.
and then by her, so I didn't do it purposely, but I passed this like passion energy to her. She lit
Yes.
up her passion
She had
energy.
to receive it and be allowed. So it's a
Yes.
beautiful exchange. Yes.
And then money is a byproduct of that.
And this is why
It was
people a
always
lot of
in
time hire you. I think that's why people a lot of time hire you because they want to be in this energy. And a lot of time, just by being in this energy and you know what we are surrounding ourselves with, right? The people, the environment, whatever we listen to, everything. So
everything.
keep putting yourself into the proximity of the people you want to be like, you are shorting so much time and effort by doing that. And I think this is the smartest business decision you can make, even though it's out of your comfort zone and it costs a lot of money, quote unquote, whatever lie you tell yourself. But I think, as you're saying, buying a first class business or business class in the airplane, or this is not wasteful. It's part of putting yourself in those energy, right? To start soaking that energy that will bring you to the next level, whatever that is that you want in your life.
It's an energetic investment. And I'm gonna share
Mhm.
you a story. Number one, we were talking earlier. I just booked my first class flight. When I
Yes.
landed, I checked my emails and I had earned more during that flight that paid for the flight and more. Just
Insane.
in my emails, of course.
Of course.
And last summer, I was going to I love this story so much. So last summer, I was in LA for a week and I was talking to my coach at the time, my hypnotherapist, and I was like, okay, like I really want to book a Tesla, but it's that this is such a different money mindset. I can't even like connect to this anymore. But this is where I used to be like a year ago. And I'm like, so like I could get a normal car, but this is like 5 times the price. And I'm like, I had such a logical viewpoint on money that's far changed now. And and so she's like, Marley, unless you're like scared to put food on the table, like rent the Tesla. And I was like, of course I'm gonna rent the Tesla. So I rented the Tesla, and the energy that getting into that freaking Tesla every day, and how good I felt, and how fucking badass driving my Tesla down, like freaking like what's that, Beverly Hills, like it just felt so good. And I was like, I know that by being in this energy, it will allow me to attract more clients and it will just like those. So I ended up attracting a client named Tesla.
No way. There's a name like that. Oh my God.
Never had another client, never
You
met
can't
her,
make this up.
can't make it up. And I'm like,
Wow.
oh my gosh. So like that week, like I signed her that week. So it's like I just want to let everyone know. I know it's so scary to invest in yourself and take those like a little bit of like edging pushes, but I have never in my life, I'm sure you could probably agree, had an experience where I've made one of those investments and it hasn't come back times 10.
So let's talk about those moments when it not happened. Okay. Because I think this is important to point out as well, right? What happens when you are following your passion? What happened when you are doing the business that you thought that you want to do and you fail miserably? And the clients are not coming in and the money is not there and the scarcity comes up and all these things. What do you have to say for those people? Because I know they're out there listening. They know that this is true, but for some reason they are following their passion. They are following all the things that we talk about, but there's something there that's not clicking. What do you think it is?
Oh, I love your question so much. I actually don't believe in failure. I believe that every rejection is redirection.
Mhm.
So do you know Sun Life Organic?
Yeah.
Okay, so we were talking about this earlier, and so today I was reversing out of the driveway in a brand new Tesla and I hit a pole. And I'm in this car and it like this whole thing, right? And I was like we could label this as a failure.
Mhm.
But I just have really conditioned my mind to say everything is happening for me. There's a lesson in this, there's a purpose in this, and I can't see it right now. And
Mhm.
right now, this is kind of shitty, but everything's gonna work out. It's on purpose. This poll literally, like, it was so weird how it happened. The car didn't beep. I was looking at it, and for some reason, like it's so weird. And I was saying to my friends, I'm like, I feel like if we had left, like something bad would have happened. And then I went into town later today into like Austin, and we go Sun Life Organic is my favorite place in the entire world. And the owner was sitting there. And I'm obsessed with him. And we went over, and I have to say, it was my friend who really was like had the balls to be like, we love you. We had like a 45-minute conversation with him. He like gave us some Sun Life product, told him to message him on Instagram. Now we're Instagram friends. And I'm like, that would not have happened had I not hit the pole, because we would have gone to Sun Life at 9 a.m., would have missed him. Like none of that would have happened. And I'm not saying that's why we hit the pole, because it can't, we just, who knows, maybe nothing at all will happen. But it's just like little moments of like that. And he was telling me that all this shitty stuff was happening to him. We were talking about like my pole story, and he was like, had that not have happened, it never would have redirected me to Austin, where I'm the happiest, best self. And so in those moments where it feels so dark, and these are like, hitting a pole is different than like if you're in a business and it feels like it's failing. But I promise you, there's a silver lining in it. There's the reason the universe is everything is happening for you, not to you. Always. I believe that with my heart and soul. And if something isn't working, that means that there's something better on the way, or it means that there's a lesson that you haven't learned yet. Okay. So that is number one. So think outside the box. Like, is there something I'm not trying yet? Is there something I haven't learned yet? Is there another book I need to read? Is there something I'm not taking action on? Or is it a subconscious conscious disconnect, which means you consciously desire something, but subconsciously your brain literally thinks that equals death, which means your brain will never go to work for it because it does not want you to die. So maybe growing up you saw someone become successful, but they were like a really mean person to you. So then you associate success with being a bad person. So you will never attract that. I don't say never, but like it's gonna take longer and slower to attract that into your life. So that's like number one. And then my tip on this I would say like look into what your subconscious mind believes and heal that, because then you'll clear it and have it immediately. It's money, success, and everything you desire is on the other side of rewiring your subconscious mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think also one of the questions that came up, oh, I have so many passions. There's so many things I want to do. And this is for my manifestor, my MGs, right? If you're following human design, you have multiple passions and you're into, knitting and then dancing, and you just don't know what to do. And one of the things that I wanted to ask you, how you know which passion to actually make a business from, that you actually feel fulfilled, but also you give value.
That is such a good question. And I'm a manifesting generator myself. So I think this idea of like we have to choose one thing and you can only do one thing is like putting yourself in this really small
I think it's
hole.
bullshit.
I think it's bullshit as well, because I teach money, I teach mindset, and I teach business.
They are
And
connected, but they are different. But this is
exactly.
where our gift is, to connect all these like random
Yes.
things.
Make it work, my love. Like, and something that Jenna Kutcher, if you guys know who Jenna Kutcher is, she talks about photography, she talks about mothering, she talks about business, she talks about Pinterest, she's successful as hell. So it's like, don't think that you just have to choose one thing. And this would be my like business coaching tip, would be like, actually try it all. Like, start coaching someone this, start talking, and what is lighting you up? What feels like a fuck yes? And just keep following the fuck yes, because you're not gonna know until you try. You can try to assume as much as you want, but it's like, could you imagine someone teaching you how to cut hair just by telling you, and you're trying to think how to cut hair? You're not going to learn how to cut hair until you start physically putting your scissors to some hair, right? So what I want to invite you to do is just start testing the waters, start coaching people for free, start taking courses, take action, start now, stop stalling yourself, and you will only learn by doing. And once you start doing, you'll start to say, like, for example, my first business, I could look back on that and say, holy shit, I wasted 2 years of my life designing websites. No, 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 no. It was a stepping stone. Everything is a stepping stone to get you. And I'm still narrowing down. Like, I'm 2 years into this business, and the second business, wait, 20 to 21, 20, maybe 3 years. I don't even know. I lost track now. What day is it? I don't know. And as I'm growing, as I'm learning, I'm even niching down more. So it's like, don't expect yourself to know all the answers from the beginning, because you won't. Like, I hate to break it to you. I think a lot of us, they want to have it perfect from the beginning. That's literally impossible. And so the only way you're going to find out is if you start doing. And so the first step is just taking the first step. That's it. And I know that's scary. I know it's daunting, but I want to also provide you context of like, to be motivated to do something, you need three things. You need to associate pleasure to it. It needs to feel good to have done, and it needs to be broken down into baby bite-sized pieces. So like, if you're going to play darts, could you imagine if the dartboard was right in front of you, you'd get bored after 2 seconds, you'd leave. Or if the dartboard was like 50 feet away from you, you would give up because it's too far away. So that's what happens when we go to start businesses. The dartboard is either way too close, it's way too easy, but most of the time it's just way too far away, and you can't figure out how to get the dart on the dartboard because it's too far away. So move it closer, make it perceivable to do, and then break it down into bite-sized pieces. So like today, you're gonna start an Instagram. You're just gonna make an account. That's all you're gonna do. Don't think by tomorrow you need to have an account going, you need to have graphics going, you need to have it's like, break down the mountain and stop trying to climb a whole mountain at once. Get to base camp. And then you'll get to the like, think about when you climb Everest, you go to base camps. You don't go right to the top, right? And so start creating your own little base camps, and then you will get to the top. But I can guarantee, by you not taking action, I can guarantee you won't get to the top that way.
Exactly. And you already succeeded because, as you said, even if you're quote unquote failing, you are moving in the direction of where you need to be. And this is just
If you're
part
trying,
of the journey.
yes, yes. As long as you're taking action, you're literally more successful, or you're more quote unquote successful than like 95% of the population, because 95% of the population is too scared to even take that first step.
Exactly. So just keep going, love. Absolutely. And
Keep
another
going.
question that came into because I know we're running out of time, but this is an important one. How you build a successful business while pursuing your 9 to 5, right? How you do this together without losing your mind, and how you know when it's time to leave your corporate job. Because I know you had this like part-time jobs where you work and building your business. What are your thoughts about that?
Such a good question. So I have like a woo-woo answer, and I have a logical answer.
Go to the woo-woo. We love woo-woo.
The woo-woo answer is like, you need to actually completely so when you come back from your 9 to 5, I want you to take a shower. Take a shower, let go of all of that, previous thoughts, like turn that off, release it, clear it, get into some new clothing, fresh new energy, and then going into work into your
Love it.
That's number one. Number two is, I would highly, highly recommend that you start using an online calendar or a notepad, or just, I use Google Calendar. And what I would do is I would schedule in, okay, let's say 9 to 5, perfect. Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. So then I would schedule in, like when I got home, let's say like an hour and a half to just like debrief, sage myself, shower, like let go of the day. And then I would schedule in, let's say, like an hour and a half or 2 hours, and that would just be focus mode on the business. Phone on airplane mode, like literally just dedicating to the business. And then I would, let's say I would do that like whatever. I mean, I'm a manifesting generator Capricorn, so I just have like this like never ending energy to work on the business. But do what your energy is able to do, and schedule in that time so that you are held accountable to working on it. And so I think that by using a calendar, and again, breaking down the steps, don't try to create a website in 2 hours. Like, give yourself
Exactly.
time, trust the process. But I think between one, letting go, and then two, having accountability to just work. Because if you don't have that accountability, but like, I'm like 99% more likely to do something if it's in my calendar. And so
Absolutely.
just having that accountability there and being like, okay, from 5 to 8, I'm working on my business. And then I'm shutting off. And then I'm just doing whatever I want. And like, I have to say, in the beginning, I think there is a hustle period. Like I don't know anyone who's gotten to where they've gotten without that little bit of like uncomfortable, working in the 9 to 5, and also this, like there's a little bit of that pushing period. But by getting through that, the most successful people in the world have two things. They're following their passion, and they've just been doing the same thing over a long period of time. So and literally, like, don't expect to get to like the result in 2 weeks. Expect to get to the result in 5 years. Like, expect to get to the result in an amount of time that you would be like, that would be impossible not to get to. And then if you get there earlier, great. It's a bonus. So I think right now in the society of instant gratification, we put out like 5 TikToks and you're like, wait, I haven't gone viral. I'm giving up, right? And
Exactly.
what happens is I think everyone gives up too early because they can't recognize the compounding invisible work that they're doing. Like they're putting in the work every single day, but it's invisible. So you can't see it. And then over time it starts to compound. But if, like, for example, my podcast, I did it for 2 years straight weekly without it growing.
I was just thinking about this
Yeah.
example. I love it.
Literally, like if you're looking at a line graph, just a straight ass line. Then, because I consistently showed up for it every week because it brought me so much joy, again, attaching joy to the motivation, then it's like a hockey stick graph. But had I been so focused on the numbers and looking at every day and obsessing, oh well, it's not growing, and identifying with that, I probably would have given up. But I didn't. I focused on the joy, and I focused on, okay, I can do one episode a week, and it was something I could achieve. It felt good to achieve, and it felt good to do, and it motivated me each week. And you know, if you do something for a long amount of period of time and show up to it weekly, it would be ridiculous for it not to work.
Exactly. And I think it's not about all or nothing. It's about, think about it. How much time do we actually work in a day, right? If you would leave your job right now, it's not the amount like saying, okay, I left my job, now I'm focused on my business. It's okay, if I have those 2 hours in a day, I'm going to give my all to those 2 hours and I'm going to make the most out of it. It's really, you don't need more than that. Really, if you think about it, it's really about the laser focus and knowing exactly what your tasks are and be committed to it and be consistent with it. And yes, you're not supposed to know everything. That's where there are business coaches, there's where mindset coaches, there's all these help that you can get, and accountability, which is so important to get wherever you need to be. And I think you will know, just to kind of add to what you said, you will know when it's time for you to leave. If it feels still scary for you to leave your 9 to 5, don't shame yourself. It's just not the right time for you yet. And I think when it's going to feel aligned and exciting and good, this is your time. Because just leaving your job and start your business, a lot of people don't understand that magically the clients are not going to come to you. You're still taking with you their mindset, the energetics, the limits. You're just going to manifest it in a different way. So it's about really taking this time to heal yourself energetically, mindset wise, and business wise, to really find who you are, what kind of business you want to build, what kind of legacy you want to leave, and enjoy this time that you have this beautiful cushion, you have this beautiful like support and investor in your business to use while you're figuring this whole thing out. and not look at it as an obstacle, or you're like not making it on all these like bullshit stories we tell ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm. The way you articulated that was so beautiful, and I forgot to answer that part of your question, which was when do you leave? And I think I know some people who just quit their business, sorry, their 9 to 5 cold turkey, and then like you said, just like, okay, now the clients are gonna come. But the action in which you take something creates the result of it. And so I think a lot of the times when you quit your business, there's like a lot, or sorry, your 9 to 5, it's like stress and lack of like, oh, I have to do this now. And then so that comes into the business, and that's far too anxiety inducing for your nervous system. It's not worth it. And it puts way too much pressure on your business to succeed, and nothing grows in pressure. Have you seen a flower grow in a pressure cooker? No. It needs flow, it needs space, it needs, energy. So when you're trying to make something out of pressure and force, I'm going to tell you it never works that way. And so I actually don't encourage my clients to quit their 9 to 5 immediately, because it's going to cause way too much stress for your nervous system, and you're actually going to push all the success away that you're desiring, because it has to work. When something has to work, it's basically like, think about a boa constrictor going around your entire body. Do you think your body's focused on like manifesting money? It's literally focused on freaking keeping you alive. You're in
Survival
survival
mode.
mode. Yeah.
Yes. Fly or fight.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And nothing manifests out of fight or flight, because your body's just literally being like, okay, can we breathe? Or is the digestion working? Like, that's what it's focused on, not flourishing. So I actually am like, but then I think there's a fine line. Like, one of my clients, I would just say, get a number that you would feel like your bills are paid for, the food's on the table, the rent is paid, figure out what that number is. Once you start earning that in your business, it's time to leave.
Exactly. I think so. And not look at those 10K, 20K, 30K, and then give yourself the permission, because your ego is kind of hiding in that and saying,
Yes.
okay, you're not there yet. You're not there yet. And then next thing you know, you're never there. Right. But it
Yeah.
really looking at your expenses, writing them down, looking into all these things that you need to survive, that is covered. That's your time to go, love. So
Yes.
yes, this is a great segue for your passion to profit challenge that I know you're running, and I would love for you to talk about it, because this is going to go live on Monday, and so
Okay,
it's perfect.
great.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so on Monday, tomorrow, Tuesday, when you get this,
Mhm.
on Tuesday, and even if you listen to this later, you can still sign up. It's a 3-day exclusive podcast series where I'm going to be talking about how to find your passion, how to turn that into a profitable business, how to heal from, subconscious limiting money mindset beliefs, and how to create this life of time, location, financial freedom. It's going to be like this conversation, like, and more, and it's going to be so much fun, and it's just going to be an opportunity for me to chat with you guys, for you to learn more. And what I love about it is that you can listen to it anytime. You can listen to it while you're on a walk, you can listen to it while you're at the gym. You can just, it's just on the go. So all you have to do is sign up, enter your name, and it's all completely free. And I'd love for you to join us.
And of course, we're going to have all the information in the description bar below. Amazing, Marley, my love. Thank you so much for being here. I feel I can talk for you for hours. I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, no, I want to more. But if you guys have any follow-up questions, anything, I know Marley would love to answer, and definitely check her 6-figure freedom club, 7-figure freedom club, all these like amazing programs that you can't really find out there, that combines the mindset, the energetics, and the strategy to get to wherever you want to be. And it's more than possible, because here you are. That's the living proof of you doing what you love effortlessly, because that's what it's all about. It's not just getting the business, but it's how you live it and how you enjoy it and how you're getting there. So thank you, love, for being a live example for all of us that it is possible. And thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being such an amazing host. This was such a pleasure. I feel like we just went into like a time vortex, and this was so much fun, and it was such a pleasure. And I would love to do a part 2 if people have more questions.
Yes.
Anytime.
I know we will. 100%. There's so many questions like we couldn't get into, but it's enough for people to kind of like start with something, and then as they go with their business, I'm sure they're going to be any bazillion questions more. Thank you again so much, loves, and we'll see you in the next episode.